Cade Cunningham, people saying, people who don't know basketball, oh, he needs a point guard. He don't need a point guard next to him. Now, do they need somebody that can handle the ball like Schroeder did off the bench? If you're talking about that, yeah. Another ball handler, but I think Denise Jenkins can grow into that, to be honest. So I don't think it's high on the priority list. But I'm going to tell you what the Detroit Pistons actually need, bro. It's not drastic like Paul Pierce said, where you need this overhaul. If you're going to continue with Asar and Jalen Duren in that lineup, you need somebody that can consistently knock down a jumper from the 4 spot. You can't have Duncan Robinson in the lineup. You need somebody, instead of Duncan Robinson, that can get their own bucket. It's as simple as that. They can shoot, get their own bucket, create their own shot. Maybe sometimes help you bring the ball to the floor. That's it. And then I feel like you need a microwave off the bench. A Manu Ginobili type, Lou Williams, Jamal Crawford, Deion Waiters type of guy that can just come, Malik Monk, who can just come off the bench and give you buckets. That's what you need. It ain't that too far-fetched. Now, if you're gonna make any additional things, you probably want to stretch 5 in there. They can assist Duren. They're gonna assist Duren. I heard some people throwing out Kristaps Porzingis. Then at the end of the day, it works, but you're not paying him a lot of money to come here. He probably gonna replace Paul Reed, Stu Duren, Kristaps Porzingis. Not mad at it. Nothing too high end. Because you get a guy like Anthony Simons, who got buried in Boston, who can come off the bench and give you a hell of 5 buckets. I mean, yeah, you can get somebody like that. I think, his role is just come off the bench. But then again, you got Dennis Jenkins with him, kind of a small backcourt. That becomes an issue. But ideally, you want to market in a Trey Murphy, somebody like that can defend like Trey Murphy, score up, give you some scoring, but they can knock down that consistent shot. That's what you need. Now, if you can just get somebody that can be a straight shooter from that position and 3-and-D guy, if you can find a 3-and-D guy from that 4 spot, you will take it. Defend your position, rebound a bit, catch and shoot. I'm not sure where would you find that guy. I mean, best case scenario, you're looking at Trey Murphy, Lauri Markkanen. Middle grade scenario, maybe you get Jeremy Grant back in here. And if he can taper his expectations for one to be a second or first option scoring, maybe that might work. But at that 2 spot, then you talking about, the high end, Devin Booker, Kyrie Irving, a guy like that. Maybe a couple guys available. I think John Morant is too much of a shooting liability, but he is a true point guard. You don't need 2 true point guards in the back. Cade is a true point guard. People say, well, he's 6'7". He ain't no dude. Magic was 6'9" as a point guard. Sean Livingston was going to be the next Magic. He's 6'7". It's got nothing to do with height. Okay, so they need somebody opposite of Cade who can get their shot, who can get a shot, who can shoot and score, and that's what they need. Whether it's Kyrie, I say Kyrie because he played with Luka already, played with LeBron already. He a championship caliber player, been to the finals quite a few times. I think he's matured. He can shoot. He can dribble. He can defend at a high level when you really challenge him. I seen him lock down James Harden when he left Philadelphia for Brooklyn. So he's capable of doing it. On the other end, Devin Booker, $75 million. I mean, it's going to cost a lot and cost a lot. It's going to cost you a lot of capital and cost you a lot of bread. With Kyrie, the bag ain't going to be that high for Kyrie. Coming off an injury, you can get Kyrie and you can get Markkanen now, or Trey Murphy. You can get both. Now, the question is this. If you can get both, do you move off? You can't really pay Jalen Duren like that. So that becomes the issue. Can't pay Duren like that. So then you got to pay Asar Thompson. I'm not sure you're going to get him the max, but eventually, but you can't pay Duren like that. So do you look for other alternative? You look at Kristaps, but the problem with Kristaps Porzingis, him and Isaiah Stewart together can't play full time. So, you look at a Robert Williams who will be free. He always injured. DeAndre Ayton, you ain't thinking about it. Joel Embiid, you ain't thinking about it. So Vujovic, maybe, but he is defensive liability. So, but, in reality, if they can bring back Beasley, that'll help off the bench. They can get a Kyrie or somebody like that. I know people say Zach LaVine in the winter. everybody ain't a winner until they a winner. So if you can get Zach LaVine for a little bit of nothing and see if it worked, I think he played really, really well in Little Caesars Arena too. He a straight bucket getter, you know. I think it's imperative that they get somebody from that 4 spot that can knock down that shot and defend or give you some scoring. And they need a ball handler in that ball. They need another scorer in that backcourt that can get his own shot, and they need one off the bench. Them the 3 things they need to get. Anything else is icing on the cake. Because if Durant and Sar Thompson gonna be there, you gotta have Cade doing his thing. You gotta have another guy that not only can shoot it but can get a bucket. Then you gotta get a guy in that 4 who can knock that shot down. Me personally, I want to get rid of any and everybody. You know, Austin Reeves wouldn't be a bad pickup. Bam Adebayo wouldn't be a bad pickup. What's old buddy name? Tyler Hero. I just don't like the durability with Tyler Hero, but I wouldn't mind Austin Reeves. You know, in the backcourt with him, but I would prefer Booker, Kyrie. Those are the 2 guys I would prefer. But you know, it is what it is. But that's what they need. You know, bare minimum. Somebody in the backcourt that can get their own shot, can kill in their own shot, and then somebody on that wing who can get a bucket, and then somebody off the bench who can get a bucket. So they need 2 bucket getters and a shooter. And other than that, if you can bring back Denise Jenkins, you can get Malik Beasley back. You keep Stu. All likelihood, Ron Holland's gonna be gone in those scenarios. Sasha might be gone in those scenarios. Karis LeVert contract will be gone in that scenario. You know, you might see a Dern sign and trade in a scenario. You might see a Tobias sign and trade in a scenario. This is going to look different. To get something, you got to give something. That's a fact. To get something, you got to give something. The toughest thing about marketing and Trey Murphy is Danny Ainge is a shrewd operator. But what may work for the Pistons is Danny Ainge and them need picks. They need picks to be able to trade up. So, you know, they can get marketing, cool, but then you go down to New Orleans, you want to get Trey Murphy, that's another issue. You might be like, what's the issue with getting Trey Murphy? Well, Joe Dumars still beefing with Tom Gores. And that's who running the New Orleans Pelicans right now. So, but the thing about getting Trey Murphy is, guess what? The Pelicans ain't got a fucking pick. They need a pick. Pistons got picks to give. So, Trey Murphy might be the logical pick. I'm not mad at it. Defensively, it's not a drop-off. It's an upgrade over Tobias Harris. Shooting-wise, scoring-wise, I go try to get that Trey Murphy deal done, and then I'll try to get something done for Kyrie, or if I can't get Kyrie, Devin Booker, Cody White, somebody like that. Then I got to go for the kill for like a LaVine. I'm not worried about his pass as long as he's healthy, somebody like that. But I think my eyes are set on a guy like Zach LaVine. I mean, I'm a guy like Kyrie Irving, you know, and if I can get Klay Thompson, or if I can get Lively or one of them guys that's with him, you know, I can get them with him, then shit, you probably, in reality, if you can get one of them big fellas, Gafford or Lively, down there in that Kyrie trade, shit, you can sign and trade Durant. No disrespect. You can sign and trade Durant. You can go get Kristaps, save some of that money, get Porzingis, put him with Lively, put him with Stu. You probably gonna get rid of B-Ball Paul. You know, if you can get Klay, you know, that'll give you another big defender on the wing. You know, he probably come in and come off the bench. Klay, Jenkins, I think that's an upgrade over Karis LeVert. Klay, Jenkins, Stu off the bench. It's a good team, man. But hey, check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Find me everywhere in the comments in the link tree.